Apple's next big phone, the iPhone 17 Pro, might finally add something we've never had on an iPhone before. If the leaks are true, this could change how we use our phones every day. I'm talking about reverse wireless charging, using your iPhone to charge other devices like your AirPods or Apple Watch without any cables at all. This isn't the first time we've heard about it, but the timing is interesting. Some companies are moving away from this feature, while Apple might be ready to finally bring it to iPhones. Let's talk about what this means and why it's such a big deal. The latest rumor comes from a leaker on Weibo named Fixed Focus Digital. They said Apple has been testing reverse wireless charging on the iPhone 17 Pro. The tricky part is that we don't know if Apple will actually turn it on when the phone launches in September. The hardware might support it, but Apple could still decide not to make it available to users. Another leaker, Instant Digital, said something similar earlier this year. Back in February, they mentioned that Apple was testing 7.5-watt reverse wireless charging for both the iPhone 17 Pro and the Pro Max. If that's true, it means you could just place your AirPods case or Apple Watch on the back of your iPhone and get a quick charge. It wouldn't replace your regular charger, but it could give enough power to get through a workout, a trip, or the rest of your day. Think about how helpful that would be. You're out listening to music and your AirPods die, or your Apple Watch runs out of battery right before a long day. Instead of searching for an outlet or carrying cables, you could just set them on your iPhone and bring them back to life. It's small things like this that make everyday life easier, which is why so many Apple fans are excited. Now, Apple has actually played with this idea before, but in a very limited way. Back in 2021, when they released the MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone 12, something interesting happened. If you charged your iPhone with the battery pack attached, the phone could actually push power back into the pack. That was a form of reverse charging, even though it was hidden and not meant for other accessories. It showed that Apple has been working on the idea for years. Then in 2023, Apple stopped selling the MagSafe battery pack. Around the same time, they also switched the iPhone 15 series from Lightning to USB-C. With USB-C, iPhones can charge smaller devices like AirPods or an Apple Watch, but only with a cable. If Apple finally allows reverse wireless charging, this would be the first time we could do it completely wirelessly. How does this compare to competitors? Google used to offer something called battery share on Pixel phones, which was basically reverse wireless charging. But with the Pixel 10, they removed it and introduced their new Pixel Snap magnetic system, which is more like Apple's MagSafe. That means Pixel users don't have this feature anymore. Samsung, on the other hand, still has reverse wireless charging on its Galaxy S25 phones. But Samsung doesn't use magnets like Apple. Instead, they rely on the CHETA standard, and you usually need a case to align devices properly. So if Apple really adds this to the iPhone 17 Pro, it won't just catch up with Samsung. It could actually look better, especially since Google has dropped it. On top of that, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are rumored to have bigger batteries than before. That makes a huge difference because a larger battery means you can spare some power for other devices without worrying about draining your own phone too quickly. Of course, the big question is, will Apple actually enable it? Apple is known for testing features and then leaving them turned off, either because they're not ready or because Apple wants to save them for a future release. So just because the hardware supports it doesn't mean we'll definitely see it this year. Still, this feels like the right time for Apple to finally make it happen. Users have been asking for it for years. The technology already works well on other phones. And Apple is always trying to make the iPhone the central device in its ecosystem, connecting smoothly with AirPods, Apple Watch, and other accessories. Adding wireless charging for those devices fits perfectly into that idea. Apple also has a habit of taking features that already exist and polishing them in their own way. Reverse wireless charging may not be new, but if Apple introduces it, they'll probably make it look seamless and easy, highlighting how well it works with their ecosystem. They'll turn it into one of those "it just works" features. The iPhone 17 lineup is expected to launch on September 9th during Apple's big event. Apple hasn't confirmed the date yet, but leaks and hints have pretty much confirmed it. So we won't have to wait long to find out if this feature makes it into the final product. If it does, it could be one of the most talked about features of the year. It may not sound like a huge deal at first, but for iPhone users, being able to charge your AirPods or Apple Watch anywhere without cables could be a real game changer. The only question left is, will Apple finally switch it on, or will this remain just another hidden feature we never get to use?